So now, our information, is it per unit or in total? Most of our information in the problem. Mr. Presley? Mr. Presley's not here. Mr. Rampone. Most of the information we're provided in the problem, is it per unit information or total information? I mean, check out. I'm sorry? You use the same word in both of those questions, and I guess that's what I'm fishing for. Is most of our information on a per unit basis, or is it in total?
Most of it's in total.
But actually, most of it's in per unit basis, because you actually used reference per unit in both of your statements just a smidgen ago, right? Because I'm sorry. Sometimes I don't know exactly. I know what I'm fishing for, but I don't know the exact question to kind of get it out of you. So I was trying. So, but that's right. It's mostly variable, right? Variable selling. That's not the thing I asked you about per unit or in total. The only number that we use in total is fixed costs. The other pieces of information that we're given, selling price per unit, variable cost per unit. Okay, so there's more per unit information than total information available to us in the problem. And so, and I ask that because I ask that question because that's going to help us know which of these to do first. Which one's going to be easier, do you think? The one that includes per unit information or the one, anyway, I'm not being very helpful here right at this very second. Let's do this one first because it uses a lot of per unit information, which you can see, right? Variable cost per unit, which we've got. It's a number. We can read it off the sheet. Selling price per unit, which we've got. It's right there in the sheet in front of you. Fixed cost, total fixed cost. That's a number we've got. So we've got, so the one on the right's looking a little easier to me than the one on the left. So let's do that one first. It is the equivalent, the formula on the right, on the board, is it closer to the break-even in units formula or the break-even in dollars formula? Break-even units, break-even in dollars. Taylor, what do you think?
I'm sorry.
This formula right here, is it break-even in units or break-even in dollars? Units. How'd you know?
Everything's per unit.
Exactly. Everything's unit. And this right here is going to be our answer, ladies and gentlemen. X. X is going to be our answer. And so what we're going to do is construct an algebraic equation with one unknown and solve for that one unknown, which is going to be number of units. How many units do we need to sell in order to earn an operating income of 20% of sales? We need to know number of units to be able to answer that question. So Nick, take a piece of information, any information, and tell me where it goes in the formula.
The selling price per unit is $2,000.
Selling price per unit is $2,000. See how easy that was. These problems are all just a piece of cake. Anthony Sizer, another number, please. $1,000 for variable cost per unit. And again, because X is going to be our variable, we're going to leave that out like that. Michael Stansel, another number, please. Fixed costs are $6 million. See how easy these are getting. Now we're getting to the kind of bumpy part. Angie, what an awesome question for you. Now we need some help with that operating income part over there. How are we going to do that? Give you a hint. Anybody have any ideas? Can anybody give her a hint? Sir?
Would you multiply 25% times the selling price per unit?
Very close.
Times X.
Times X. There we've got it. 0.25. Because Angie, what do we want operating income to be? What's the phrase in the required down at the bottom of the problem? Not 25% of net income. 25% of sales. Now sales, this is sales right here. SPU times X equals sales. Okay? So we want this to be 25% of sales. And how do we calculate sales? Sales is $2,000 times X. Okay? And then we just need to solve that, which you can work ahead. I thought I saw somebody raise their hand. I'm sorry. We are going to isolate all the x's. 2,000x equals, well, let me, 1,000x plus 6 million plus, that becomes 500x, just multiplying through. And then we're going to go 2,000x minus 1,000x minus 500x equals 6 million. This is just algebra, straight out of your algebra class in high school. And then we've got 500x equals $6 million, so x equals $6 million over $500, and x therefore equals what? Cole? Is Cole here? Yes. Yes. Sounds good to me. $12,000. Luke, 12,000 what? Incorrect. Much better. Units to do what? To attain a what of 25% sales? Net income. To obtain an income, more technically operating income. To obtain an operating income of 25% of sales. So we got to sell 12,000 units in order to earn an operating income of 25% of sales. If you write it out horizontally like that, it makes the math, I think it makes setting it up easier, and it makes the math easier once you have it set up. Isolating the unknown is much more simple and kind of a horizontal formula than it is if you've got it set up in fractional format. Questions, comments, concerns, random thoughts?